All the South African Superbike Series action is proudly brought to you by NGK Spark Plugs, Bridgestone motorcycle tyres, and Rapid Bike Tuning. Round 2, we head back to Zwartkops for the second round of the championship. A big crowd coming out now as part and parcel of the first round of the National Extreme Festival. NGK Spark Plugs joins us for the very first time as the headline sponsors now for the SA SBK series. Joining Bridgestone Tyres, Rapid Bike and all our associate sponsors, it's great to have them on board and back into South African motorsport for the first time in 30 years. Blaze Baker makes a welcome return as well as he joins the 1000cc class on a ZX10. A little bit of development to be done on that bike, but we expect big things from him into the season. Lance Isaacs has already shown what that Superbets BMW can do, and will he have the pace here today to take on Honda Centurion's Zwartkops for Mark? Great to have Honda showing off their new wears and tears, the brand new Fireblades on display, and they'll be on track real soon. The Ducatisti will be happy with the V4 on the track, and it's piloted by Marius Kukumu, one of our only masters. That field will be growing real soon and real shortly with some new masters coming to join. One of them will be Damian Purificati, as they've dropped the age down to 30. Flock has got a lot of work to do after a big mistake at the last round, but the man with the most amount of work to do will probably be Clint as he starts to up his game and try and close down on the lead that McFadden opened up at the first round. David McFadden looked like he was going to be the man to beat you today and certainly looked fired up to go at it once again here at Zwartkops. In the 600cc's, it was all about Ricardo Otto and 2 Kawasaki's on the sideline with Sheridan Moraes overseas in Daytona and a problem for Byron Bester, who had an operation on his knee on Friday.
Unfortunately, I shattered my kneecap and then I had to go for an operation and they said they can do me last night. So I've actually gone for an operation last night. I slept over in hospital and I got discharged this morning at about 8 o'clock. So I'm thankful that the operation went well and thankful that I have such a supportive family that came and supported me.
That team will be back soon, but Roy Gardner has been working frantically in between the two races to get NGK on board, and we managed to catch up with Shannon van der Putte from NGK Spark Plugs.
So NGK has been part of motorsport globally for a very, very long time, and I think we were kind of missing in the SA scene for a while. And our product is well known and well used in motorsports, in your superbikes. So why not get involved in the motor fraternity? I think we also want to send the message out that we're not just NGK for man on the street. That the same plug that gets used in a motorsport or in a superbike gets used for man on the street. Same testing, same OE capability, same performance. So yeah, if you demand performance, you rely on NGK.
And we certainly are relying on that relationship to be with us for a long, long time. Joining me in the commentary booth, a relationship I've had for a long time, Rob Portman. How exciting is this new brand to be involved with Superbikes?
Cannot wait. Big thanks to NGK for coming on board. Our Supersport and 1000cc Superbikes heading out on track now for race number 1 action. Brand new Bridgestone R11 tyres fitted to all those motorcycles. There's David McFadden, the double winner from race number 1. Can he hold on to that championship lead heading out of round number 2?
He set things up well by getting the pole position ahead of Seller and Isaacs. Then it was Blaze Baker. We won't see Byron Bester, we've just heard that. But Ricardo Otto, top of the Supersports, just ahead of Hendrik de Bruin. Then Damian Purificati out there on the BSBs. And look out for Tarek van der Merwe on that Dragon Energy Yamaha.
Looking forward to seeing Brett Roberts out again. Marius Kukumu, the only master on that beautiful Ducati 1100. Carrick Flock, a bit of work to do from the back of the grid. And Sean Vermaak also having issues on that Honda Centurion machine. Speaking of issues, what's going on here?
Looks like Brett Roberts' chain has come off on the Lights by Linear Yamaha. That's a big problem for him. He might be out of this one. But as they line up now, you can see the race faces are about to come on. Concentration levels are about to pick up, and we're almost good to go now for race number 1. Blaze Baker will certainly be looking forward to the attack on those Yamahas and BMWs ahead of him, and Ricardo Otto will be going for the 600s. Join us after the break for race 1. Welcome back to action now from Zwartkops and race 1, and Byron Bester on the sideline there, definitely not where he wanted to be, but he'll be looking forward to seeing what's going to happen now and transpires in race number 1, Rob.
Cannot wait. There's so many factors to be taken in. 2020 Yamaha R1 in the hands of David McFadden on pole position. Can he convert it into the whole shot? Yeah, it's going to be difficult. Clint Seller right on his side, and watch out for the Superbets BMW of Lance Isaacs.
They head down towards turn number 1, and it's going to be Blaze Baker through the middle, trying to squeeze through between the two Yamahas, but I think Seller might have just got ahead. Yes, Seller gets the whole shot. McFadden up in the second place. Baker pressurizing him there for the second spot, and Lance Isaacs waiting for something to go wrong there between the two Yamahas and that Kawasaki. He did not expect Baker to be ahead of him.
Yeah, Lance Isaacs does not want to Do you see that green Kawasaki ahead of him? He cannot spend a lot of time behind Blaze Baker. He's got to go after the two Yamahas at the front end of this field. You can see already extending a little bit of a gap. Ricardo Otto, the first of your Supersport 600s, they're in 5th place. Really good start. And here comes Carrick Flock from the back of the field. He's making his way through up into 6th or 7th. Top of the hill for the first time. All kinds of sideways. This is where Sella got it wrong at round number 1. Keeps it all neat and tidy there. Hendrik de Bruin right on the tailpipe of Carrick Flock. So he's trying to just close that gap down. But this is the problem that Lance Ice is going to have to try and make a move on the very late braking Blaze Baker on that new Kawasaki ZX-10.
Down into turn 8, there's Baker with a foot out, trying to keep Lance Isaacs from attacking him on the inside of GNA's transport corner. Oh, big moment there for Baker. Right out the saddle. That'll give Lance Isaacs a chance to squeeze through maybe into turn 1. Otto's going to show us what it looks like, and he's also going to see exactly what Garrick Flock can do through turn 1. Flock up to 5th place after 1 lap. That's a good move from him, but he also just ticked them off one by one through that lap. Nice riding there from him. Hopefully he can keep it upright. And we saw a big moment for him and a big crash at the last round.
Marius Kukumu on the 1100 V4 Ducati. Sean Vermaak, problems with that bike. We've seen it the whole weekend so far. Here's your NGK replay of Blaze Baker coming onto the front straight, and you can see sideways, not enough to hit in that Bridgestone tyre just yet. And Kawasaki traction control activated. Lance Isaacs did very well to not get caught up in there, and he's just seeing those two R1s escape, even though it's lap number 1. Frustrating times for the BMW rider.
Remember what's happened with that Kawasaki. He's only been through 3 left-handers.
Yeah.
So the left-hand side of the tyre has definitely got a problem. There's a change up to 3rd place and another movement there. Oh man, that Kawasaki's battling, and there goes Baker. And look at that, Flock goes with him. Nearly dives at the inside of Lance Isaacs. He sees him coming, shuts the door. This is an epic battle. This is what we've been expecting for a long time. And welcome back, Blaze Baker.
Yeah, Blaze Baker still thinks he's on a Supersport 600 machine with the way he's racing right now. Onto the front straight. Lance Isaacs will be fuming under that AGV helmet because he's seen the 2 leaders get away, and he's now got to worry about one of the hardest men in South African motorcycle racing. That's Carrick Flock right on his tail. That's one rider you do not want behind you. Baker again gets all kinds of ownership, and Isaacs another mistake. This is not going to plan for the Superbets BMW rider.
He was watching the Kawasaki. He got caught napping and watching the rider in front of him. It made him make the mistake. This is McFadden trying to close down on the leader, Clint Seller, the King Price Extreme, what's that, a Honda yacht or something yet. Not quite sure what he's on just yet. He's on Yamaha at the moment, but there's a big move in the very near future to put him onto HRC. Up to the top of the hill they go towards turn 5. Looking back, a great move there from Tarek van der Merwe. He's the second of the 600s, only one out there, sitting at the moment in second, but the battle continues here between Baker and Flock. Flock is applying massive pressure.
Blaze Baker's only had about 15 to 20 laps on that ZX-10. You can see he's still learning the ropes of the big 1000cc bikes. He's all kinds of out of shape, but he's just defending at the moment. Flock looking to go on the inside. Is he going to stick? He's going to take Blaze Baker's foot out in the meantime, but Baker is going very defensive. He's braking really late, but he doesn't have the pace out on track, and that is frustrating Carrick Flock. And look at Lance Isaacs. Where is he going? He's got huge problems. Our second place man in the championship.
If you watch Baker's style, he's trying to ride that 1000 like a 600, and it's eventually going to catch him out. You cannot carry the same kind of corner speed that you do on a 1000cc. On a 600 you can do it, but on a 1000 makes it so much more difficult. This is where Ricardo Otto's winning up. He's now been passed by the looks of things by Hendrik de Bruin, so he's lost that one position, but he's still in the lead of the 600cc's.
Lance Isaacs having a complete opposite from round number 1. Here he is trying to still make his way ahead of Blaze Baker, so he's managed to bridge that gap. Can he do it? Another moment for Blaze Baker, and Lance Isaacs, a little shake of the head. He's getting very frustrated. Problems there for Carrick Flock. Not sure what's happened there. He goes to the right. Ricardo Otto now up into about 6th place overall. Still at the front of the Supersports. Again, Lance Isaacs attacks. He has a little slow-mo. Isaacs all over the show. Gets the front wheel in the air. Still can't make that move.
Yeah, the back end stepped out there on Isaacs just before he got to Kenwood, and now he comes through into Mex there. Baker's just riding probably a ZX14. Oh, this is Tarek van der Merwe, the Dragon Energy and Evolved Nutrition bike down at turn 4. He's gone into the catch fencing and into the airbags.
One man who's out front, no such problems at the moment, Clint Seller. His game plan was old Seller, like get out front, extend that lead and manage the race. That's exactly what he's doing. The battle is now on for that final podium position. Can Lance Isaacs get ahead of the Kawasaki man? He tries to go the long way around the outside, just cannot make that move stick. Very evenly matched those Kawasaki and the BMW machine. Hendrik de Bruin with a really good job up inside that top 8. Damien Purificati just ahead of him, and there is Carrick Flock. Unfortunately still, and those are probably problems from race number 1. We had the huge crash. I think it might be brake issues on that machine. Isaacs, can he get the drive now? Top of the hill, turn 5 is going to be his best chance. He's side by side. Can he make it stick on the inside? Baker lops the foot out again and just closes that line. No way past for Isaacs.
It's been a while since Lance Isaacs has been in a dogfight like this, so he must be enjoying it as much as he's feeling the frustration. As they come out of the double right hand at Kenwood, they flick it through Mix FM, and there's where the Kawasaki just pulls away ever so slightly. So there's certain areas on this track that the Kawasaki is good. There's some very good parts for the BMW, but unfortunately, Lance can't capitalize in those areas just yet.
You can see Blaze Baker, he just jams the brake on and he cuts that line, not giving Lance Isaacs any room to even think about going on the inside. Isaacs trying to hold that pace off, get the drive again, forced to the outside. You're not going to do that going into turn number 2. Blaze Baker on the optimum line. Isaacs going to try and square it up. Ricardo Otto sideways on his Otto Racing R6 machine. He's way out front in the Supersport 600 class. Here comes Isaacs. He's got brilliant drive going into turn number 4. He puts it on the inside. Can he make it stick? Yes, he does this time. So change up for third place. Blaze Baker, let's see if he's got any answer at the top of the hill, turn 5.
That's a brave move from a BMW rider as he come up to the braking markers up into turn 5. He's too far back. Looks like Baker might have to settle for 4th place now. What Isaacs is going to try and do is open up a bit of a margin. He's been waiting for a long time. He's eventually got through. He's not going to hold back now to get away from Baker.
Yeah, Isaacs knows these are valuable championship points lost. Even in the early stages of the championship, you do not want to be losing too much on Sella and McFadden. There's Ricardo Otto. He's got Damien Purificati, our Bridgestone Superbike rider out there. So great having Purificati back at this level of racing. Another superb ride from him on the BMW machine, and he's closing onto the back end of the Supersport 600 rider. Here is it out front. We said Sella was managing it out front, but David McFadden on the 2020 R1 machine has closed onto the back end here in the final stages of this race. Can you hear, listen to that big bang arm. Oh, Sella looks behind him, and he got a face full of bike number 69. The RPM Center Yamaha man has closed that gap. Can Sella hold on to this now? He needs to make up those points after that crash at round 1.
Looks like he's going to try and control it to the line. It's going to be very close, but Sella might have just enough in the end to keep out David McFadden. McFlash has tried hard. If he'd gone a little bit earlier, he might have had one more lap to play with, but I think Sella's going to keep it all together. They're about to start the final lap now, so it's 2.1 k's to go for the King Price Extreme Yamaha to stay ahead of that Stunt SA machine.
Yeah, that's where Clint Sella had the advantage. He was confident enough to push those Bridgestone tyres early on. You need heat in those Bridgestone tyres to get the optimum level out of them. And McFadden is coming now. He's trying the Lance Isaacs round the outside move there. Can he get the drive coming out there and line something up going into turn number 4? Very evenly matched bikes. Those Isaacs, now that he's got ahead of Baker, look at the margin that he's pulled out. So he'll know he's got to get a better start for race 2 because he's got the pace to match the 2 Yamahas out front. Turn number 4 for the final time in race number 1 to the top of the hill. Does McFadden have enough to get ahead of him? Sella again looks over his shoulder. You're not going to get Evil Knievel on the brakes at turn number 5. Sella's just got to go defensive now and pick up his first win of the season.
Yeah, double right-hand and Kenwood, he'll keep that all together now. There's no doubt about it. There's one more chance down at turn 8 at G&H Transport, but I don't think McFadden is close enough to have a go. He might just outbrake himself if he does, and I think he's going to settle for second. He knows there's a long way to go still in this championship, and he's already taken the championship lead at the first round. So second place right now will be good enough as he comes through to finish just behind Clint Sella, Evil Knievel on the King Price Extreme Yamaha. Great run there from the two of them. Results going to Sella ahead of McFadden, Isaacs ahead of Baker for the 1000cc class. Purificati took the Bridgestone Superbikes, and Ricardo Otto won out the 600s ahead of De Brain and Gareth Gaelic on the second Superbets BMW. Let's catch up now with Clint Sella at the NGK Rapid Bike Podium.
That was a hard race. I pushed super hard from basically coming out of turn 2. I just pushed as hard as I could, and I saw I had quite a good gap, and I thought, cool man, I'll maintain. And the track just got slipperier and slipperier and slipperier as obviously everything, all the temperatures rise and the pressures rose. And then I had a huge moment coming out of 6, and I lost basically my whole lead. And then from then on, I just sort of thought, okay, cool, ride it to what it is and just make sure we try across the line. But I think it was close, right at the end there for sure.
600cc's went to Ricardo Otto. We catch up with him now on the Rapid Bike and NGK podium.
Started the race, went into turn 1, I felt very confident. I had to battle it out a bit with the 1000, and then they pulled the gap. Unfortunately, my tires started overheating, so I lost grip. So I just started riding smoothly, cooling the tires down, and Damien behind me passed me on the second last lap. I made a mistake at the last corner, and that's why he passed me. And then I tried battling him, but yeah, I couldn't just make the pass. I'll see what happens race 2.
Welcome back to Zwartkops, the arena of motorsport just outside of Pretoria. Looking forward to action now from race number 2. But remember, it is part and parcel of the Extreme Festival. So there's not only action on track, but off track as well. Big family atmosphere and lots of crowd support for this weekend's first National Championship round. The crowds are in full effect due to the fact that we've got such fantastic racing. And of course, the families are in the house as well. And not only their families, but there's a couple of charities involved here this weekend too.
Yeah, Greg, like you said, great initiatives in the pits there. That is the HPC Radiomatic Kawasaki team. They've got their charity of choice here for the weekend, handing out gift bags, nice Ride Fast magazine and other goodies in those bags. So even though they're not racing, still giving back to the community. Great to see from the Kawasaki team.
All as we all know, tuning on these superbikes is absolutely crucial, and one of the market leaders is Rapid Bike. We caught up with Craig Langton to find out what it's all about.
It's the only module that's Euro 4 compliant, and of course it's very popular in adventure bikes and all bikes, but is really used in the racing environment. And I think one of the biggest advantages is for guys that don't have a whole pit crew, that just want to know that their fueling's always perfect. Rapid Bike adjusts the fuel every 50 milliseconds, so that's like when you blink. So if you go down to the coast, it remaps itself automatically when you're down at the coast. So it works the same as your normal ECU, that if you ride onto the coast or you race anywhere, you don't have to change it. You do one lap and it's set up. So that's working really, really well for racers and for ordinary users.
Rolling to the line now, on board with David McFadden, looking straight back at Blaze Baker. We'll be looking to get another great start, to be in amongst the front end. The most important start has to come from Lance Isaacs, though.
He's got to try and close down on those Yamahas. He cannot let them get comfortable. He lost vital championship points in race number 1. Henny the Flag gets that board going. Lights are on, lights are off. McFadden from pole position. Can he get it this time? No. Another good start there from Sella. And again, the green Kawasaki just splits them up. And it looks like, no, not quite the whole shot, but up into second. And there comes Lance Isaacs, not wanting to hold around this time. He's got to make those early moves. Again, that outside line. Blaze Baker going defensive again. You can see those big, beautiful Bridgestone R11 tyres. They've got to get heat in them. Once they do, Lance Isaacs on the inside, turn number 3. That is going to be a very brave move if he pulls that off. Brett Roberts on track now. Great to see. Let's see if he can challenge for that top spot in the 600 Supersport class.
And he's going with Flock to try and get through the field. That's not a bad plan. Lance Isaacs, though, is ahead of McFadden. That's important for him. A little bit of manoeuvring there. You can see those tyres are not quite up to temperature just yet. They've got to get the heat into the rubber. Once that heat's in, those Bridgestones work brilliantly, particularly around here. But it's going to be a tough ask to get those tyres up to the right temperature. They're trying hard. The hardest rider at the moment is Blaze Baker in second place behind Kinsella. Sella opening up a little bit of a margin as he goes defensive to keep out the 2 Cape Town boys. So it's Natal versus Cape Town as the slow-mo takes us through, and that's why we got a slow-mo. Another big moment through turn 7. That's huge for Lance Isaacs.
You've got to get heat in those tyres. He had the moment, but he was still able to put the move on the inside of Blaze Baker. Baker fights back. Isaacs runs a little bit wide. This is Moto 3 action on the opening lap, and all the meanwhile, Clint Sella, the 6-time champ, is getting out front and getting away. And look who's coming to play in the mix. It's going to be a 4-way battle there with Carrick Flock now in the mix. Blaze Baker sideways action pushes Lance Isaacs a little bit wide. David McFadden now up into 3rd place. This is going to be a 4-way battle that's going to go all the way down to the end. On board here with David McFadden. Flat out stuff now on the 2020 R1. He's got the 2020 BMW right on his tail, and Carrick Flock is coming to play in this party. And at the meantime, there's a green machine at the front end of it. Great having the BMW, the Yamaha and the Kawasaki mixing it for the podium.
And they're mixing it properly. This man's getting away because of that. They are fighting so hard, they're slowing each other down. Blaze Baker being the biggest blocker at this stage, not allowing anybody through. Hendrik de Bruin just ahead of the Bridgestone Superbike rider there, Damien Verifigati. And look at that, the 3 600s, all within each other's graph. The X600 rider there, second of the Superbets BMWs, Gareth Gaelig, just behind Brett Roberts. So the 2 Cape Town boys trying to close down now on Tarek van der Merwe and Ricardo Otto.
Right, let's just catch our breaths here for a minute. This is still the 4-way battle going on for 2nd and 3rd place. The final podium positions there. Isaacs has got to make up those points. Carrick Flock, another disappointment in race 1. He's got that pace. Typical Carrick Flock out of the seat there. You can see Blaze Baker still that very defensive line, not letting anyone go on the inside. McFadden going to try and square it up, but we know the horsepower that Kawasaki ZX-10 has. It's going to be interesting to see down the back straight here. McFadden takes the wide sweeping line, but it doesn't help if you've got a big green machine right in the path where you want to be.
And if you have to roll off.
Yeah.
The roll off there is what cost him the chance to go into turn 4. If you don't roll off, like we saw with Lance Isaacs in the first heat, you can make that move stick. But unfortunately, he had to roll off. He's got good drive up the hill now. Good possibility that Baker might lose out here to McFadden. Is McFadden good enough on the brakes? Yo, that is so close. But look at Isaacs around the outside of McFadden, catching David McFadden out, and Garrick Flock waiting to pick up the pieces there.
This is the problem for McFadden. He's trying to attack the bike ahead, but he's got to be wary of the machines behind him. So Isaacs took full advantage, used all of his experience there, and he came out up into 3rd place now. Can he make a move on Blaze Baker? What an introduction to Superbike racing it's been for Baker. Oh no, Garrick Flock with another problem. The man just has no luck. He's got the pace, he's got the potential, he's got the talent. He just needs to get that Yamaha sorted. Here comes Isaacs around the outside, McFadden on the inside. Blaze Baker closes it off. Oh! Superbets BMW machine in the face of Blaze Baker. Welcome to SA SBK 1000cc racing action, Blaze Baker.
Is this SA SBK or WWF? Because man, that was a move that WWF would be proud of. Isaacs banging up the inside of Baker, and Baker with no answer other than to sit it up. Speaking of sitting it up, unfortunately Flock has had to sit it up. That's going to allow Hendrik de Bruin and Verifigati to closing down, but have a look just behind that. You've got a hard charge coming out of that Dragon Energy Yamaha of Tarek van der Merwe, closing on race 1 winner Ricardo Otto. There they go.
Yeah, that's impressive pace from the youngster. There he is. The Dragon Energy sponsored Yamaha R6 machine right on the tail. He crashed out of race number 1. No confidence dent there. He's right on the tail and looking for that Supersport win. Oh, Sean van Mark, he's got problems on that bike. That bike is smoking and he's realized that will he get offline? He's got the experience, but does look like that machine has given up the ghost. We've got the brand new 5 blades in the pits waiting, and good experience riding there, gets off the racing line. So him, along with Sella, will be waiting for those new 5 blades to come into action.
He parks it on the sideline there for Centurion Honda, and unfortunately it hasn't worked out for them, but let's see whether or not they can get those new ones sorted out as soon as possible. If he gets onto a new bike, it's going to be impressive, but look at what he's doing on the old bike. Sella getting away from this pack as they fight it out now for second place, and McFadden has still not found a way through on Baker for third.
You can see Baker's using this as testing. He still has not got anywhere near the setup he needs on that Kawasaki machine. Ricardo Otto still holding off the challenge. Brett Roberts, another great ride this from him. Sorted that bike out. He's got Gareth Gaelic for company. His first time out on that Superbets BMW machine. Great to have this man making the transition from motocross racing onto road racing and doing a fantastic job. Once they get that bike sorted and get to a little bit more known territory, that guy's going to be challenging for the top step of the Supersport 600. Talking about challenging. Again, Baker runs a little bit wide. He cannot hold the line on that Kawasaki machine, and that's going to open the door up for McFadden. Again, he just throws that leg out, closes that line. Baker gets it all kinds of crossed up, manages to get it squared up. They've closed the gap ever so slightly there on Isaac, so Baker doing an incredible job to hang on to that final podium position. Your championship leader, however, that's David McFadden. He's not in the position he wants. He's losing massive points.
Oh, massive points there to Isaacs, and more importantly to Sella. Those are going to be the two closest rivals, unless we see a massive resurgence from Kawasaki with Blaze Baker on it, which we've already seen yet today. If he gets that bike sorted out, remember he only climbed on that bike on Monday. His dad John built it up. Of course, Russell Wood, 14-time SA champion, has got behind trying to find some sponsors, and it's got him back into racing, which is great to see. And now you can see just how hard the man from Cape Town is working to get through on the Banana Boy.
Yeah, the Kawasaki's were always going to battle around the tight, twisty Zwartkops circuit. He has that battle for the 600s. Van der Merwe still shadowing the back of Ricardo Otto, and they just behind Hendrik de Bruin and Damien Purificardi there. But once those Kawasaki's get to the long coastal tracks like the East Londons and those fast circuits, they are really going to be a thorn in the side of the Yamahas. But speaking of thorn in the side, there we go. Baker runs out of the track, hasn't got the setup on that bike, and finally McFadden makes the move. Can McFadden now close on to Isaac? Let's see if he's got the pace.
I think what happened there is he just ran in too hot, almost 600cc style, and that just made him sit the bike up. Now he's got to try and make up the ground. He's not too far off McFadden, didn't lose too much ground, but I think McFadden now is going to... a second mistake from Baker. That might be too costly.
Let me tell you, this is his first time on those Bridgestone R11 tyres. Maybe he's just overcooked it, wrong tyre pressure, maybe in that bike, but certainly he doesn't have the pace now to challenge for those final podium positions. He has a good battle on track. Purificardi, Hendrik de Bruin, and then not two 600s in the hands of Ricardo Otto and Tarek van der Merwe, two of the hottest prospects in South African motorsport at the moment, doing battle here at race number 2 at Zwartkops Raceway.
And by the next round, hopefully we'll have all of the 600s back as well, with some international duties there for Iotso and also for Schulze. So they'll be back into the hunt too, and join these two along with Brett Roberts. Maybe 5 or 6 600s in this pack. Whoa, we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, here we go. Van der Merwe, can he get the drive onto the backspace? NGK replay here for you. This is Blaze Baker. He comes into the top of the hill. That's turn number 6, and just watch that rear end just cry mercy as it starts coming around. Traction control activated. He almost catches it on his knee there. Maybe a little bit too much inside curb there, but certainly problems on that Kawasaki. But a great introduction into the 1000cc class, and a lot more things to come from Baker on that Kawasaki machine. Top 3 spread out now. Sella out front. Isaacs closed that gap ever so slightly, but managing times now for Sella. A double win on the day coming for your 6-time champ. He's right back in the championship hunt now.
Now that's the way you wanted to do it. Come here and do a double victory. Make sure that you put McFadden as far back behind you as possible. Isaacs has helped him out with that. You can see he's rolled off ever so slightly, but there's enough there to manage it all the way to the line, and I think we're going to see some big fights in the next round as soon as we get to that. Marius Kukumur had a good run and of course wins out the Masters today on the Libra Racing Ducati Panigale.
Sella across the line, then double delight for Evil Knievel. Clint Sella on the back wheel. He takes race 2 victory ahead of Lance Isaacs. Damage limitations there for him. David McFadden, Blaze Baker, Damien Purificardi, the first of your Bridgestone Superbike runners. Ricardo Otto just holding off the challenge from Tarek van der Merwe in the Supersport 600s.
Let's head down to the NGK and Rapid Bike podium now to catch up with the winner, Clint Sella.
The King Price bike was really, I would say on rails, except for 2 moments today, but we came away with a win, which is important. We had loads of guests, all of our sponsors were here this weekend, so it's proud to be able to win in front of them, yeah.
Nice ride coming out of Lance Isaacs as well. He'll be super chuffed with how things have gone on his Superbets BMW and looking forward to the next round.
you know what, I chipped away at it, and I was catching Clint at one stage, but I thought, you know, I had a few moments, he had a few moments, and we were definitely pushing each other. So I thought a bag full of points is better than picking the bike up out the kitty litter. So I want to thank my sponsors, Superbets, BMW Motorrad, BMW Financial Services, all my sponsors. The guys have done an excellent job, Dean and his dad. Thank you very much, and we look forward to going racing in East London.
The next round sees David McFadden in the lead of the championship still, but he was pretty frustrated at how things had gone today. And we managed to catch up with him down at the NGK and Rapid Bike podium to find out what he's going to do for round 3.
But I'm happy overall. I mean, the most important thing is we need to take points every race, and I think all year round it's going to be me, Lance, and Clint fighting for it. So I think everyone's going to have their chance of winning, and everyone's going to have their chance at a bit of everything. So yeah, let's see what we can do. I'm keen. You got to be happy. A podium is still a good result, and let's see what we can do for the next race.
Onto the podium then in the Supersport 600 class, and what a ride from the youngest man, Tarek van der Merwe.
And into turn 4, ran out of brakes. Unfortunately, he had a bit of an off, so we fixed the bike, got it ready for race 2, and we managed to get a good start. And me and Otto had a pretty good dice, you know.
The next round was set for East London. We're not quite sure when it's going to happen. We'll let you know as soon as we do, but we're definitely going to be down there for all the action. And as you can see, the South African Superbike Championship is definitely on the up and looking good. All the South African Superbike Series action is proudly brought to you by NGK Spark Plugs, Bridgestone Motorcycle Tyres, and Rapid Bike Tuning.